Welcome to the 2020 New Testament Challenge. Today we're in Acts chapter 26. Paul is on trial and he's before Governor Festus and King Agrippa. He is sharing his personal testimony. He would say typically the exact same thing every time, but he's going to be saying something a little bit different now before King Agrippa. In chapter 22, this is what Paul said. As he was knocked off of his horse because that bright light shone around them, then he said, I heard a voice from heaven that said, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? Who are you, Lord? I asked. I am Jesus of Nazareth, whom you are persecuting, he replied. My companions saw the light, but they did not understand the voice of him who was speaking to me. What shall I do, Lord? I asked. That's typically what he would always say. But here in chapter 26, Paul says it a little bit differently. Here he says, beginning in verse 12, on one of these journeys, I was going to Damascus with the authority and commission of the chief priests. At noon, O king, as I was on the road, I saw a light from heaven brighter than the sun blazing around me and my companions. We all fell to the ground, and I heard a voice saying to me in Aramaic, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? It's hard for you to kick against the goads. Then I asked, Who are you, Lord? I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting, the Lord replied. Now get up and stand on your feet. I have appeared to you to appoint you as a servant and as a witness of what you have seen of me and what I will show you. I will rescue you from your own people and from the Gentiles I am sending you to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, so that they may receive forgiveness of sins and a place among those who are sanctified in faith in me. So then, King Agrippa, I was not disobedient to the vision from heaven. Here Paul is giving more information. He's sharing more what he had heard from Jesus during that vision. And the one thing that he said was that I was not disobedient to the vision. When Jesus spoke, I obeyed. As we follow Paul throughout his entire ministry here in the book of Acts, we have not heard him complain. We have not heard him compare his ministry to someone else saying, Lord, why can't I have Peter's mission? He was commissioned by Jesus to do exactly what he has been doing, and he has been faithful. The one thing that we need to understand is that Paul began well and he wanted to end well. Even as you read all of the letters that he wrote to the churches, the one thing he would stress over and over was that I want to be faithful. I want to know Jesus, and I want to fulfill the commission. I want to run the race that is set before me. I want to finish well. I want to hear Jesus say to me, well done, good and faithful servant. And here in chapter 26, what did he say to King Agrippa? Verse 19, I was not disobedient to the vision from heaven. God never speaks to us just to give us a good devotional thought or to give us more information so that we would have more of a biblical understanding. God speaks to us so that we would obey. So what we need to do is, like Paul, commit that we will listen to God and do what he says. We need to make sure that we do not seek to hear from God unless we are ready to also say what Paul said, what shall I do? Thank you for joining the 2020 New Testament Challenge.